This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Now today we are going to give our final review on what I consider is one of the has to be considered a game of the year. But you know, it's going to be a lot of flowers and roses, folks, but I'm going to be truthful about a few things, and I'm going to let you know, because I do this for a reason, so you make your own decision. Don't just go on me. I am not the greatest dungeon channel on the planet, and never claimed to be, never will be. Okay, I do a lot of different things, but I want you to be able to sample what everybody says. Two places that I'm sure are going to do reviews on this because they're fantastic and friends of mine. At least I know Daniel's a good friend of mine. Is the Dungeon Dive. Daniel's a fantastic guy and loves dungeon crawls. We have the same taste. So I'm anxious to see how he feels about it. Again, I want to give you everything from my perspective, and then you take from his perspective. Geek Gamers, I think those are the three that you could really get a good idea, and you'll find out if you want to go get this reprint. I particularly say go to the site, sign up for the reprint, let's get this thing going and get this thing in everybody's hands. But we're going to talk a little bit about this, and what game are we talking about? Well, I don't think I have to go much further than League of Dungeoneers. So without further ado, I just want to go down to the table, and I kind of want to put everything together a little bit. I'm not going to go into this too much. You can check my videos out where I kind of talk about everything, and you can take it from there. We are going, by the time you see this, you'll see that there's a scheduled playthrough that'll be later in the week, later than I said I would do. But for me, I want to make sure I have everything down and available so it's smooth, it's clean, it's crisp, where you can understand it. And I think that's the most important thing I could do to you. Let's go down to the table, talk a little bit how this all comes together with all the pieces that we've shown in other videos. And, well, I mean, without further ado, let's go down there, and then I'll come back on the other side and give you my final thoughts. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is I highly suggest you check out some of the videos I've done where I've broken things down. But I just want to give you some quick thoughts here and how this all comes together. At the beginning, you are going to have a threat factor that is going to you're going to have a threat level factor that is going to come with your scenario. For instance, the very first scenario, it is going to be at 2. You are going to roll a scenario die, which is a D10, okay, folks? And I'm just going to roll it here. You're going to be at your door, and you're going to roll before you even get going. If you roll a 9, unfortunately, you are going, like I just did, of course, a 9 or a 10, you are going to roll on a threat, on a threat chart here, okay? And you're going to roll a d20, and then that is what is going to happen. The 16, for instance, the risk of an encounter goes up by 10 in all rooms and characters. One of the biggest things here, and I want to break down things and just kind of put everything together. You are going to check for your threat, okay? You want to roll your scenario dice. You want to adjust any torches, which we will cover in our live playthrough. Okay, and then the first thing that you're going to do is try to open up a door. You're going to roll, okay? 1, perfect. It opens without a problem. Now, when we open up that door, we're going to pull a card. We will pull one of our exploration cards. We would turn it over, and for instance, there is a corridor. There will be some things in this that will tell you, hey, well, you know something, you're going to come in here, and there may be certain things. When you walk into this room, well, you're going to increase that threat level by 1. So now it goes from 2 to 3. The thing that the threat does, okay, and then is it basically gets you going as that you got to get moving, because once you hit a certain threat level, wandering monsters are going to come. And depending on the scenario, you are going to roll. And, you know, maybe for instance, well, We failed our threat roll. Okay, and all of a sudden we roll and we have a couple of bandits here. Then you are going to have to negotiate and fight these. Now, the turn is determined, of course, by initiative. And in these initiative chips you're going to pull out, and for instance, these are monsters, okay? So they would go first. One of them would go first. So this person has a choice between moving or double moving. Double moving is, well, if their movement is 4, they would go 4, and then if they wanted to move again, that would be halved, because you get exhausted, which makes pretty good sense. Man, you're not going to be able to run a whole bunch of rooms, okay? You're going to get tired. The second move is going to show a little bit of that fatigue, which is smart. So you would double move, okay, and get there. Those are your 2 actions. You can also do some really brilliant things. For instance, wizards and archers, for instance, one, they can do a focus, which would cost two AP points, because you only have 2 AP points per turn for each character. You are going to do, on your turn, when you pull this, you are going to do all that actions of that particular character. Okay, and then you will pull out another one of these and then continue and do all the actions. There's focus, there's aim to help increase your chances. Combat is done with a D100, so you are going to have a particular value. For instance, our wizard's going to cast the magic missile here. They have a 60 as a focal point to start, and they have to roll under that 60. But because they're an archer, it's -5, so I would need a 55. If he focused, he would get a bonus to that, but he would have to wait the additional turn. Meanwhile, he could be full of arrows in that time. So you have to be smart on how you're going to go about these things. I would roll, and I rolled a 28, so I would do a certain amount of damage. Now, if I did half the amount of damage to that particular character, that means that particular enemy would only, if it's half or less, they would only get 1 AP, because that shows that they are wounded. You are going to keep on moving, trying to defeat things, and go on, and your party morale is going to change each time. You may run into traps. You may run into a trap in a door. You may roll a certain thing, and you're going to deal with that. Well, that's going to affect your sanity and your morale. At any time that you get to a level that your morale has gone over or drops below half of your res, which is I'm not going to show you the character sheets, but you're going to have all kinds of different stats. Well, you're going to abandon that quest. Why? Because you're frightened to death. Big monsters scare you. Demons will cause fear. Listen, you don't open up a door and go, oh, hey, there's a whole bunch of demons here. No problem. Let's go fight them. No, you're going to be scared, and you're going to need to change your underwear, folks. I'm going to be honest with you. All right. There are things that you're going to find. You're going to find fine treasures, wonderful treasures. You're going to have tons of armor and weapons that you're going to be able to draw that are going to help you and do different things. When you're an archer, okay, after you fire, you're going to need to use and plan your APs well, because you're going to have to reload. Okay. There are tons of different monsters. For instance, we have bandits here. Like I said, all the different stats that you're going to have, because they're going to attack back, folks. They're going to attack back. The type of treasure that you're going to be able to get, their health. If they had any special rules, it would be here. Everything is on these cards, making it really, really easy. All these things are going to come together. There's hit locations that you're going to have against your heroes. You may have armor there that might help you absorb some of the damage. And then I'm not even getting to the point that when you finally defeat this dungeon and you're heading out with your pockets full of gold, well, guess what, folks? You're going to have to try to get to a settlement, okay? But the road there could be just complete with peril. Okay, and you can end up in a settlement with your pockets empty. It is a true role-playing homage to all the great dungeon games ever. And I'm telling you right now, sign up for that reprint. You will not go wrong here. Everything is spelled out in these books perfectly. Like I said, I'm going to tell you up top here a bit. I would have liked this to be a little bit different for the turn sequence, breaking everything that you can do in a particular turn so you don't miss everything, because it can get a little bit with the sanity and the morale, making sure you got those numbers right as things happen to you. You could be so focused in, especially if you're playing solo, so focused in on trying to get to your objective that you may forget certain things. The book is beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. I will tell you this, everything's spelled out for you perfectly, leading up to the first quest book, which is in the very back, and we are going to be doing the very first quest from this. You'll see by the time you see this video, we are going to do spring cleaning, and boy, what a ride that's going to be, and I can't wait to bring it to you here on Rob's Tabletop World. Let's go up top, get my final thoughts on this fantastic game that I've spent the last week really getting a fantastic feel for, and now hopefully you have a feel for it so you can make that smart decision to go get this thing reprinted, get a copy for yourself, and see what all the buzz is about. Let's head on top. Now, absolutely glorious. Again, I'm not going to go through everything. You're going to see it in the playthrough. You're going to see Daniel do it. You're going to see Geek Gamer do it. Okay, these are the three big people that I hate lumping myself in there, but you know, these are those other two people. I think are the people that you are really going to get a feel for the game, as well as the way I feel about the game. My thing here, the only really negative thing I have is I wish this would be a little bit better and a little bit clearer. It's really good for what it does, but what I would like to do is, because threat is a big thing, okay? Because sanity is a big thing, and morale is a big thing. I wish the way the title would go is, you know, all right, what's the first thing that you're going to do? Roll scenario if you do X, Y, and Z. Then, you know, go down to the next part of it. Move your models, all the things that you can have there. I would like to turn broken down a little bit better on the initiative, on the cheat sheet here. I think that would help. And Mike, that's the worst thing I can say about this game. That's the worst thing I can say about this game. This, to me, again, and I want to make this perfectly clear, this scratches a massive itch. And I never got a chance to watch Geek Gamer's preview Kickstarter video for it, and I never got a chance to watch Dungeon Dive's video for it. And it was really funny because all the things that they said are all the things I've been saying. This scratches that Warhammer Quest 95 itch. And they said it before me, and I wish I knew. I would have came up with something different. Okay, you know, there have been a couple of games, Dungeon Memory or something like that. I forgot what the heck it is. I have it. It was a complete mess, but it was supposed to be the next Warhammer Quest. Other games have come along. They were supposed to be the next Warhammer Quest. Finally, somebody got it figured out. This is the next Warhammer Quest, because you're going to go down in that dungeon, and I didn't even cover settlement phase, being able to, you know, trying to get from the dungeon to a settlement, the things that you have. Yeah, you got a pocket full of gold. Are you going to get to the settlement with that pocket full of gold? Well, good luck, my friends, because there's a game within a game within a game. Building the characters is so much fun because it becomes personal. As you're taking your characters down, it becomes almost, to me, in a way, the farther you push, you're kind of you push your luck. There's a push your luck kind of mechanism. Do I keep going? Do I keep going? Do I need to rest here? But boy, that's going to bring my threat up. And boy, there's a chance that everything will go wrong. And I made all this progress and it will get thrown out the window. Brilliant. Brilliant. This is a special, special, special game. Sign up for the reprint, okay? When this thing releases, okay, and all you Kickstarter people, get it in your hands. There's going to be retailers that are going to get some, that have bought extra. I've heard from them, okay? I just don't know where they're located and whatnot. There will be extra copies out there. Hopefully you can get one without paying, scalper prices, because that's disgusting. I want this in everybody's hands because I want you to feel what I feel, what Daniel feels, what Geek Gamer feels, okay? Some of the best dungeon crawl people on the planet. Because my passion is the dungeon crawls. You guys know that, okay? I scream to the hilt about it. Yes, I do other things, because it's just how I am. But this has it all, folks. And you cannot let this out of your sight. You cannot let this go, oh, well, I missed out on this. Oh, well, there'll be something to come along that will... No, there is nothing that is going to come along that is going to replicate this. League of Dungeoneers. Sign up for the reprint. Make it happen. Get yours at an affordable, realistic price, because Michael's very fair. He has put his heart and soul into it. He's not out to be corporate Joe and rip you off. It's just not how the man works. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say that this game gets my highest rating. I'm giving this, if I had to give this a 1 out of 10, this is a 9.8. This is a 9.8. Nothing's perfect, okay? Nothing can ever be perfect, because if I gave it a 10, that means that if something else came along that I felt was better, what do you rate it? You can't go over 10. So for me, a 9.8 is right where this game should be. Some of the things that people may have a problem with is keeping up with the sanity and the party morale. It does get a little hairy there, and you're it almost takes the focus off a little bit of a few things. That's maybe just another little nitpicking thing, but for me, it plays such a part because it's a realism that is part of this game and makes this game one of the best games I've ever played. And how will it sit on my top 100 that I do at the end of this year? Well, let's see what happens. Okay, we got a lot of year yet. Is this up for game of the year? It's got to be there. It's got to be in. It's got to be in the conversation. This is a game, if you noticed, I've put a lot of videos in it. Not because there's nothing. I've got thousands of things to do here. Look at this place. This place is a train wreck because I've got all kinds of stuff coming in and I've got thousands of things to do. I cannot tear myself away from this. What does that tell you? Now, people are also asking about comparisons to Dungeon Universalis. Folks, I promise you this. Give me a couple weeks to get through this and some of the other things that I'm working on, okay? And I'm going to break Dungeon Universalis, and we are going to talk about both these games in a couple of weeks. A couple of the bigger and better dungeon channels might do that before me. But if you're waiting for me, we do things in order, okay? Or at least try to. Okay? Maybe Daniel will take a look at it. Maybe, the wonderful Geek Gamer will take a look at it. Maybe Solo McLaughlin, who's another spectacular human being. Okay, there are a lot of special people out there that will be covering this game, and I promise you, you are going to get such a feel for it. Sign up for the reprint. Make the reprint happen, and you won't regret it. This is a masterpiece. Congratulations, Michael. Yeah, I got a few nitpicking things. I'm sorry. But they're so small compared to what this brings to the table. The imagination, what is coming, how it's going to play out. Superb. Until next time, it's your old power up.